Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Okay, good. So today we're tackling this idea of prosperity,
Mm.
but not just like, winning the lottery.
Right.
Prosperity. We're going deeper. Like, what does it really mean to thrive?
Exactly, like a holistic view.
Yeah, for your whole life, not just like your bank account.
Absolutely.
So our guidebook for this, a book called 8 Pillars of Prosperity.
By James Allen. Written, get this, back in 1905.
1905. Wow, that's like over a century ago.
I know, but that's what's so cool. You'd think it'd be outdated, but his stuff about human nature,
Yeah.
still relevant today.
Like surprisingly relevant.
Totally. Like he tapped into some timeless principles of like success.
Almost like he found some code for how to not just succeed, but build a life that can handle anything. So where does he say we even begin this whole prosperity journey?
He's like really big on this. You got to start with moral strength.
Okay.
Not like tricks or schemes to get rich,
Right.
but like a core of integrity. He actually compares it to building a house.
Oh.
He says trying to build prosperity without morals is like building a house on a swamp.
Yeah, a swamp is not known for its solid foundation.
Exactly.
So to get this straight, lasting success, it's got to be built on values you actually live by.
Yeah, aligning your actions and your values.
But come on, isn't that kind of idealistic? I mean, in today's world, it feels like everyone's just trying to get ahead.
Well, that's what's so interesting. He directly challenges that idea that success is all about competition, like outsmarting everyone else.
So how does he say it works then?
He thinks true prosperity, it comes from aligning your achievements with your inner compass.
So it's not just what you achieve, but how you get there.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense, but it also sounds really tough. So how do we even start building this kind of moral strength? Like, where's the instruction manual?
That's where his 8 pillars come in. He basically lays them out as like building blocks for a truly prosperous life.
Okay, what are they? Lay it on me.
Okay, so we got energy, economy, integrity, system. Then there's sympathy, sincerity, impartiality, and self-reliance.
Wow, 8. That's a whole blueprint.
I know,
We definitely won't be able to cover all 8 in detail today.
Definitely not.
But let's dive into a few. Some that feel super relevant even now. What about energy?
Oh, good one.
This guy, Alan, he was all about action over laziness.
Oh yeah, like hardcore.
He even has this image. The energetic person is already at work, while the lazy guy is still asleep.
It's so vivid, right? And it kind of reminds me of all the productivity stuff we hear about today.
Oh, like what?
Eat the frog,
Or
time blocking.
Yeah, get the hard stuff done first.
But Alan takes it deeper. Like he saw energy as willpower made visible.
Oh, I like that.
The force that helps you like overcome inertia and create something.
So it's about directing that energy towards what matters, not just being busy for the sake of it.
Exactly. Purposeful action.
Okay, but here's my question. What about burnout? Everyone's pushing themselves to be productive these days. Could Alan's idea backfire?
You're right. Good point. And that's where his next pillar comes in. Economy.
Economy. I thought we weren't just talking about money.
We're not. This is broader. It's about balance. Like in all areas of your life. He describes it as this wheel.
A wheel.
Yeah. And it has 7 spokes. Money's one, but also food, clothing, recreation, rest, time, and energy itself.
Whoa, okay, lots of spokes.
He says if any one spoke is too long or too short, the whole wheel wobbles. You can't have true prosperity.
I like that analogy. But it's funny, some of his examples sound kind of out there today.
Oh, how so?
Well, he talks about like a woman who owned 40 dresses or a man with 20 walking sticks. And nowadays, it's all about minimalism.
Right.
Decluttering, simplifying.
Right. It seems like he was saying something different.
Totally.
Yeah, he definitely valued simplicity. But he wasn't about deprivation either, more like finding the middle ground. Not too much, not too little. Being mindful of how you use resources.
And that's not just about stuff, right?
No, it's about time, energy.
So it's more about a sustainable rhythm,
Right.
balance between work and play.
Yeah, which, let's be real, is something a lot of us struggle with.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Have you ever caught yourself working late, sacrificing sleep just to get more done?
All the time. We think pushing harder is always the answer. But Alan reminds us, it's got to be holistic. You got to take care of all parts of yourself, including rest. Okay.
Let's move on. What about integrity? This one, he really gets
Oh,
serious.
yeah, no cutting corners here.
No little white lies. He's really hardcore about this, like unshakable moral character.
Right. He even says this, the boundary lines of a man's morality mark the limits of his success.
Whoa, that's a powerful statement. So is he saying that unethical people can never succeed?
I think it's more nuanced than that. He's talking about lasting success, real prosperity. It needs to be aligned with your values. Otherwise, maybe you get short-term gains. But there's a cost.
A cost? Like what?
Your peace of mind, your self-respect, ultimately your potential.
It's like compromising your integrity even a little, it cracks the foundation.
Exactly. Might look good on the outside, but it can't hold up.
Okay, that makes sense. This next one, self-reliance, I think is super interesting, especially today.
Oh, why's that?
Well, it's not about rejecting help, right? Or knowledge.
No.
It's more about trusting your own judgment, standing by what you believe, even if it's different. Kind of like Alan's version of being an individual.
He has this great image of a timid guy, too afraid to stand out from the crowd. We've all felt that pressure to conform.
Oh, totally. You don't want to rock the boat.
But he's saying to be truly prosperous, you gotta trust yourself. Be unique.
Okay, but that's easier said than done. What about all the self-doubt, the fear of failure? We even have a name for it now, imposter syndrome.
Right, it's real, but he acknowledges that. He just thinks to reach your full potential, you gotta overcome it.
So it's this balance, isn't it? Seeking guidance, but also trusting your gut.
Exactly, that's the sweet spot. You know what's interesting? He ties this self-reliance back to integrity. Like when you're morally strong, you're less likely to be swayed by what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, almost like that inner compass is stronger.
Right. It guides your choices, helps you cut through all the noise.
Okay, so far we've got energy, economy, integrity, and self-reliance. Sounds like a pretty solid start for this prosperity thing.
Yeah, we're building the foundation.
But I'm guessing there's more, right? It's not just about mastering each of these on their own.
Exactly. Alan's approach is all about the whole picture. They got to work together.
Like pieces of a puzzle.
More like a building. Each part has to be strong, and they got to fit together, right?
So the whole thing collapses.
Exactly. Okay, so this next pillar is kind of unexpected. It's called sympathy.
Sympathy. I gotta admit, when I first saw that, I was like, huh, how's that gonna make me successful?
Right. Doesn't seem like the obvious choice.
But the more I thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
it actually started to make sense.
It's deeper than just feeling sorry for someone, though.
Okay, so what is it?
Alan's talking about like a deep understanding, putting yourself in someone else's shoes.
He uses this word oneness.
Yeah.
Like,
Like recognizing our shared humanity. Which is cool because now modern psychology is actually backing this up.
oh, really? How so?
Well, they found that empathy, being able to understand someone else's feelings, it's crucial for strong relationships.
Makes sense. You can't really collaborate if you don't get the other person.
Exactly. And that goes for work, personal life, everything.
So, bringing it back to prosperity, most of what we achieve involves other people, right? Whether it's business, teams, even just our families. If you can connect on that deeper level,
It changes everything.
you build trust,
Oh, loyalty.
creates a much more supportive environment.
Which I think is a big part of what prosperity actually is. Yeah, it's not just about stuff. It's about a life that feels good. A life where you belong.
He thought cultivating sympathy makes you more loving, too.
Which opens up more possibilities. For growth, for connection, for everything.
Kind of like people might not remember exactly what you said, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
Totally. And if you consistently make people feel seen, understood, that's powerful.
So how do you actually do that?
Yeah.
Cultivate sympathy. Is that like a natural skill? Or do you have to work at it?
I think it's both. Like some people are naturally more empathetic, but anyone can practice it.
So what helps?
For me, honestly, just being present, really listening to people.
Not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Put aside your judgments, your assumptions. Try to really get where they're coming from. Be curious. Be compassionate.
It's tough, though. We're so used to being caught up in our own stuff.
It is. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. Like exercising a muscle.
Okay, ready for another pillar? This one's sincerity. And boy, does this feel relevant today. With social media and everyone trying to look perfect online.
Oh, tell me about it. It's so easy to get caught up in that image thing. But Alan says true prosperity needs authenticity.
Gotta be genuine.
Yeah. Transparent in how you deal with people.
And guess what? He compares being insincere to building on sand again.
Oh, that's a good one. Looks okay at first glance, but it won't last.
Right. And it's not just the outward stuff either.
No, he talks about inner sincerity, too. Being true to yourself, your values.
Like if you're not really being authentic?
He actually says it's a form of self-deception.
Oof. Harsh, but maybe true.
Because if you're not being real, you're living a lie.
Yeah, and that's going to create some inner conflict, right? Like a disconnect from who you really are.
Which messes with your happiness, your success even.
Have you ever met someone who just seemed too perfect?
Oh, yeah. You get that feeling like, are they putting on a show?
It's off-putting. Makes you wonder what they're hiding.
Totally destroys trust.
And trust is like the basis of any good relationship.
Alan thought sincere people, though, they have this magnetism.
Like they draw you in.
Yeah, but not because of how they look, it's the authenticity.
They stand out because they're being real.
Exactly. Like a breath of fresh air in a world full of fake.
Okay, so how do we get better at this? Being sincere. What do you do?
Honestly, it starts with knowing yourself. Your good and bad points, your values, what you really want.
And then?
Having the guts to just be that person out in the world. Flaws and all.
That takes courage, though.
It does, because we're constantly told who to be, how to look.
It's almost like giving yourself permission to be human. Not perfect, just real.
Exactly. And when you accept yourself, you can connect with others more honestly.
Build relationships based on the real you.
Which makes for much stronger bonds.
Okay, on to the next one. Impartiality. Man, does this feel relevant in 2024.
Oh my gosh, yes. We're so divided these days.
It's wild. But Alan was writing about this over 100 years ago.
Crazy, right. But it's like he saw it coming.
He thought impartiality was key for, like, navigating the messiness of human stuff.
Exactly. Relationships, social problems, all of it.
He wasn't saying to be, like, a robot, though, right? No feelings, no opinions?
No, not at all. More like develop a balanced mind. One that can see multiple sides to things.
Without getting all caught up in your own bias.
Right. Like take a step back from the fight. See the bigger picture.
And make your judgment.
He compared the impartial mind to a mirror, reflecting things as they are. No distortion.
Wow, that's a powerful image. Seeing the world with clear eyes.
That's what he thought was needed. For good decisions, fair solutions, a more just world.
He even thought impartial people are the happiest.
Because they're not stressed about being right all the time?
They can go with the flow, adapt, find common ground even when they disagree.
Which, let's be honest, is a superpower these days.
Totally.
Yeah.
We're drowning in information. Everyone's got a strong opinion. It's so easy to get sucked in.
And lose sight of each other's humanity.
Exactly. So how do we practice this? Being impartial. What helps you avoid those bias traps?
Well, first, gotta admit you have biases. We all do.
Yeah, even if we don't realize it.
Then make an effort to find different viewpoints. Listen to people you don't agree with.
It's so easy to stay in our own little bubble.
It is. But the real learning happens when you step outside of that.
Challenge yourself to see things from a new angle.
That's where you grow.
Okay, last pillar, system. This one I kind of love. I'm all about organization.
Oh, me too. I thrive on structure.
Alan connected this to both personal and societal progress. Like without a good system, you can't really move forward.
It's kind of like building a house with no blueprint.
Right. You might end up with something, but it's not going to be pretty.
Or very functional. And it's about more than just, like, your desk being tidy.
Oh, okay. What else?
He's talking about inner discipline, too.
Like mental habits.
Yeah. Being clear, focused, making deliberate choices.
He's big on planning, prioritizing, all that good stuff. Even just having a place for everything.
Which sounds simple, but think about how much time we waste looking for stuff.
Oh, all the time. My desk can be a black hole. But when I do tidy up and I make a plan for the day, I get so much more done.
Right. Clears the mental clutter.
Leaves you space to think, to be creative.
Alan thought this system habit affects everything in your life.
Makes you more efficient, obviously.
But it also frees up your mind for bigger things. And he thought it leads to more peace of mind, even.
Less chaos, more control.
Makes sense. Feeling like you're moving forward on purpose. So how are you with organization? Natural or a struggle?
Oh, it depends. Some areas I'm great, others not so much.
I hear you. It's a journey.
But even little things help. Like having a morning routine. Using a to-do list app.
It's like creating these little zones of order.
Makes the rest feel more manageable.
Totally. You approach things with more focus.
So it's not about being rigid, right? More like having a framework, but being able to adapt when you need to.
That's it. The best systems are flexible.
It's pretty amazing. When you think about it, he takes all these different ideas, these pillars, and weaves them together into this whole vision of what prosperity really is.
It's a blueprint. But
Yeah.
not just for success,
Right.
For a life with meaning,
Hmm.
grounded in real stuff, practical wisdom, but also, like, moral principles.
Yeah, and he's not promising some get-rich-quick scheme here.
No, it's about self-discovery, growing as a person, changing both inside and out.
And one thing that really struck me, he puts the responsibility on you for your own prosperity.
100%. He believed we have the power to shape our own destiny.
Create the life you want by, actually living by these principles.
No waiting around for good luck, no blaming other people. You're in the driver's seat.
So this isn't passive. You got to actively engage with these ideas, make them part of your life.
He knew it takes work, though. It's not always easy or comfortable.
Yeah, he was definitely challenging his readers.
To confront their weaknesses.
Yeah.
To keep striving for something better.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these 8 pillars, we want to leave you with something to think about.
Something our conversation sparked. It's not something Alan explicitly says, but what if, instead of trying to tackle all 8 pillars at once, you just focused on one at a time?
I like that. Kind of break it down into smaller steps.
Right. So, like, maybe mastering one pillar actually helps the others fall into place.
Almost like a chain reaction.
Exactly. You build momentum.
So find the one that really speaks to you right now.
The one that feels most important in your life at this moment.
And pour your energy into that.
It could create this ripple effect, positive change that spreads out from there.
That's a great image.
Yeah.
So to all of you listening, remember, true prosperity, it's not a finish line. It's the whole journey. It's about constantly learning, growing, discovering who you are.
And every step you take in line with these principles,
You're not just creating a better life for yourself.
you're making the world a little bit better, too.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into 8 pillars of prosperity. We hope you got some valuable insights. Keep striving, keep growing, and keep building your own path. We'll see you next time.